welcome to One Man's Collection. Today I'm looking at the Ferrari Collection Magazine again, number 73. This is the 599 GTB. We have a 143 scale die-cast car that I've already taken out. We'll take a look at that towards the end of the video, but I am going to show you what you do get in this particular magazine. Very briefly, like most of these videos, if you wish to read all the articles, you'll have to pause, but I just want to show what they actually came with. So inside this issue, the drivers is Clay Regazzoni, Swiss, with an Italian heart. The production model is actually this 599 GTB Fiorano from 2006. Competition models is the last touring body Ferrari, the 625 Le Mans. And the poster for this one is the Sublime Grand Tour of the 599 GTB. Haven't taken any of the posters out yet. I'm not going to read the whole story here, but in 1971, Clay attempted to repeat his previous year's victory in the Italian Grand Prix. Unfortunately, his Ferrari 312 B2 suffered a broken transmission on the 18th lap. 2 laps earlier, he made Jackie Eek, his teammate Jackie Eek, had also been forced to retire. Well, they didn't do too well in that year, 71. I think in this series we did get a number 11 like that. It's 74 world champion Clay started on the front of the at the wheel of the Ferrari 312 B3. An accident immediately after the start saw the race halted, but following the restart, Regazzoni established the fastest lap and then finished third. Okay, that's all about his history from 70 to 76 by the looks of it. Big-hearted individual. Okay, moving on to the car of this particular issue. Ferrari's urge to develop an ever more powerful, faster and reliable V12, a Berlinetta, is continuous. The 599 GTB Fiorano is one of the marque's most sophisticated interpretations. Okay, looks very smooth and tame compared with a lot of their other cars from around then, which I think they've actually reversed more recently. You see things got more intakes and more sharper edges, and their wings and stuff are back. Low profile of the 599 GTB was a result of sophisticated design engineering aimed at lowering the power unit on the chassis. The center of gravity was reduced by using a dry sump lubrication and new twin disc clutch, which took up less space, to provide increased reliability and less noise. The timing gear of the V12 engine was driven by a chain instead of a tooth belt. Okay. Here's the poster for this one, actually doing a burnout. That's the first one that they've actually been doing that. Kind of some desert scene, and on the back in the city there. And we also have the rest of this. If you took it out, you got the article with the start of the car and the rear of the car. Driving thrills. Unusual thin fins along the side of the rear window acted as a connecting element between the cockpit and the short rear of the car, creating stabilizing effect. Oh yeah, we got that on the 3D model. Very good. Okay, that one's actually squeezed together. Engine is a front longitudinal 65-degree V12, just under 6 litres, like just under. 620 horsepower at 7,600 RPM, nice. Maximum speed over 330 or 205 mile an hour. One of Ferrari's fastest road cars. After the 2002 Enzo, the 599 GTB Fiorano was the most powerful road car ever built by Maranello. Very good. Touring Final Ferrari. Oh yes, we did have one of these, didn't we? The 625 Le Mans was a compromise sports car constructed on the base of a 500 TR, so Testarossa, isn't it? But with a 2.5 litre engine to comply with the new regulations introduced by the 1956 Le Mans 24 Hours. It was also the last Ferrari to feature bodywork by Touring. Okay, One of Ferrari's most elegant barchettas, the 625LM from 1956, featured a Superleggera or Superlight bodywork made by Touring in 1956, based in on the 500 TR. 3 examples were built to participate in the 1956 Le Mans 24-hour, one of which was driven by Oliver Gendebeen. And I am not going to got third place. I'm not going to be able to say all those names. The engine in this one is a front longitudinal 4-cylinder, just under 2.5 litres, at 225 brake horsepower at 6,200 RPM. Top speed of 250, because it's super light. Nice. A career consisting of a single race. Wow, only one race, Le Mans. What did I say? Third. Okay. Next magazine is I think it's the Michael Schumacher Formula One, F2003 GA model. After having won the F1 Driver Championship for the Prancing Horse Marquis for 3 consecutive years, Michael Schumacher faced 2003 season with rivals snapping at his heels. The new F2003 GA gave him the means to secure a 4th victory for Ferrari, but only the last race of the year. So we'll have that issue coming up in the next one, along with a model that goes with it. Let's take a look at this thing in more detail. Very smooth lines. There's those fins on the back. Can see through this part here. Interiors between a tan leather and straps and stuff. It's actually really well done. These models are really well done. You can still get your hands on them. They're no longer in production as far as the magazine releases. But let's get a light in there. Maybe a bit bright. We've got Ferrari on the steering wheel. We do have our gauges are filled out. And black down the middle and black seats. Can I get that? Yeah, there we go. Yeah. We are running disc brakes, but I don't see calipers on these. No. That's a bit of a shame. No. Have a look at the front. Now I did have to shine this one up. It's been sitting on the shelf for a while. It has been a while since I got around to having opened these, and nothing on the base. Just the exhaust pipes with the mufflers jammed in at the back and fully sealed except for this bit here. Yeah, well done models though. I'm very happy with those. I'm going to put that on a turntable so you can see that without my hands in the way. And I will be back with issue 74, which we're almost at the end of these, so not too many to go. Thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in a new one. Cheers. Bye.